Mr. Ackerman from New York, 5 minutes.
Thank you. I want to probe, if I can, for a moment and reflect on the philosophical differences within the committee as far as the role of the public sector and the private sector, which I think is indicative of the same discussion in the country. There are those who believe that the government or the public sector should play very little or no role in many aspects of public life, housing in particular in this case. And it should be left up to the private market. And I think that's very reflective of our votes and our attitudes and our approach to things. That being said, how much money do you make?
Me personally, do you mean FHA or do you
on your day job?
I would say I make a fair salary. It is under $200,000.
It's about what we make, right?
Yeah.
And if you took a bonus from somebody, you'd go to jail?
We do have certain very, very small awards we can make to employees. I'm not one of those who can get one of those bonuses, yes.
Right, correct. So there's no incentive for you to gobble up business from other sources, is there? Other than getting an attaboy from...
Based on the discussion of the committee today, I would say there are lots of incentives for me not to do more business.
But they're not financial remuneration.
Absolutely not.
So you have no motivation from stealing clients or customers from the private sector and gobbling up their book of business, right? You have no reason to crowd them out of the market. You have no reason to see that their market share is less and your market share is larger, do you?
None that I know of, Congressman.
And it's quite conceivable that in the private sector, people could get bonuses in exponential amounts, thousands of percentages if they wanted, larger than your salary?
In fact, one of the problems I believe that led us into this crisis is that there was lots of compensation to mortgage originators to make bad loans.
And even in Fannie and Freddie, before they were in conservatorship, they could get huge bonuses also?
They could.
And yet your business remained stable and you didn't get into any financial trouble and you didn't need a bailout while they did and had to be taken under the public wing and got taxpayer dollars to be steady?
Thus far, although we continue to be vigilant given the risk.
How come you did so well when they did so poorly in the private sector and those who are now under conservatorship?
I think the main factor is that FHA continued to make plain vanilla, 30-year, fixed-rate, fully documented loans. It's why our market share shrunk to about 2%.
And you have no problem with your market share shrinking? You don't take it personal?
That is what Congress intended us to do.
That's part of your mandate?
Is that we would not, when the private market is operating correctly, so we would need to do very limited business.
So when you were established back after the Depression for the purpose of expanding into the brink, into the breach when there was a crisis within the system, and you expanded to fill that role, those who said, oh my God, look what they're doing, they're stepping into the breach and that's a dangerous place for them to be, how terrible. You were really fulfilling your role and your mission and your obligation, were you not?
We believe so, yes.
And you'd be very, very happy to have a smaller market share and remain stable and ready to fill that breach again once the problem has been resolved within the housing market?
More than that, I believe we are taking affirmative steps to reduce our market share.
I want to thank you and your agency for doing the great job that you're doing and for standing ready to be the professional fireman that you are, and withstanding the criticism of the people who say that you're preventing the Good Samaritans from coming in and fighting the fire.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You'll back the balance of my time.